A warm welcome to today's video. Today we are going to learn Python Tkinter library via small GUI based project in Python. So let's jump in. This is our first video in Python Tkinter tutorial series. This is simple and wonderful library. Some people call the library Tkinter and some developer call it Tkinter. You can use this library to create cool applications where users can interact with GUI. We are going to learn this Python GUI library via some interesting projects. I strongly believe that we learn more when you create or develop something. Today we are going to create a calculator like this from scratch. We are going to create cool application in upcoming videos too, but this simple one will help you to understand the basics and strengthen your concepts. And I request you to watch this video till end and develop it with me so that your concepts will be clear. Let's jump into the code. So to develop the calculator, we are going to use the Tkinter library. Let's import that as tk. Good news is you do not need to install anything here because Tkinter library comes as a default with the Python standard installation. First, let's do one thing. Let's create a simple window. You can create it very easily. Let me show you. I am creating a variable called root here, and then I am calling this tk function. This is the main function of the Tkinter library. What it will do is, as soon as I call it, it will create a Tkinter object, and I am assigning that object to this root variable. You need to write root.main loop. The root is the Tkinter object now, and with this object I can call any method in the Tkinter library. So here the main loop is a method I'm calling it. Let me run this now. By default, this window already created with only 2 lines. So we're able to create our first GUI window. You see it stayed here. So if we do not write this main loop, then it will not stay. So let me show you one thing. Let me write a print statement high here. Okay. Now if you notice, when I run it, you see the window opened, it stayed there, but its high is not printed. But as soon as I close it, the high will be printed. So that means what's happening, this main loop, root.main loop line will be the last line of this your GUI. So whatever you write between these lines, main loop and tk, that will be in your GUI. So once I close it, then it come out from this root and then it printed the high. Hope you understand this concept. There is no title, is only show the tk. So let me put a title here. I have the Tkinter object root. Call this title method with this object and put your title here. I am putting that calculator. You see the title came, calculator title came. Now if you see that this window is very small and I can change the size of it, but I do not want for a calculator to change the size. So I want a calculator in a fixed size. To do that, we can give the size, right? To define the size, there is a method called geometry. Now we gave the width is 280 and height is 380. If I open it now, you see the size got changed. There is one method called resizable. Okay, and I will make it 0 0. I mean, you cannot resize, not in width, not in height. So that's why 0 0. Now if you run it, you will see that you cannot resize anymore. This window is fixed now. Cool, right? So easy. The framework is complete. You see that we have the window and we cannot resize it anymore. Very good. I am not liking the color. Let's change the color of this. Okay, you can use root.config and there you can mention background color. So I am going to use this background color. You can make any hex color here. You can make blue, black, red, whatever it is, up to you. But I am going to use this one. It's a kind of greenish color. I like this color. Let's run it, what we developed till now. Our calculator structure is complete. We have a calculator green color. We changed the background of this window. If I open the MacBook calculator here, you see any calculator has 2 things. One is that buttons where user enter value like this, and also a kind of text box or something where it will actually get the value whatever user entering and show the result here, right? So that means for our calculator we need majorly 2 components here. That is, one the buttons, another is the box where user can enter value. We are going to use 2 widget in the Tkinter. These components called widget in Tkinter. There are multiple different kind of widget available in the Tkinter library, like label, button, checkbox, color choose, entry, all the different widgets. But today we are going to work with the two widgets specifically, and we are going to learn how to do that. And those are entry widget and button widget. Button widget we all understand. Its name says that you can interact with the button, you can press it and you do something. That is button widget. But entry widget is we generally use to get some information from the user when the information is single line text. There is another widget called text that we use generally if to get multi-line information from the user, where user can type or user can use button to enter some information. Calculator we need a single line, right? So entry widget should work. So let's give a name of that widget, text underscore result. This is my variable name, okay? Text result. You can give any name here. I'm creating the entry widget, tk.entry. That's it. Entry widget with me, but where I'm going to put it? I'm going to put it in the root window, right? So let's write root here. Some look and feel we'll give this one. Let's mention a width of it. We'll go with the 9. Okay, for now we'll see how it looks like. Let's give a background color of it. So I'm going to use the exactly same background color like our window. And foreground color also can mention. Foreground color is nothing but what will be the text color when you write something. So I'm going to use white. You can mention the font size also here. To mention that there is an attribute called font, and I'm going to use Vardhana, size 40 and bold. Okay, let's run it. See, nothing came here. You must wondering why it didn't come. I'll explain it. You have the widget with you, right? You have some components with you. You have your window. But where you will put it, that component, somehow we need to define that. There is a concept called layout manager. And I tell the layout manager is nothing but the interior decorators of our Tkinter. What it tells how you want to put this widget into the window. There are 3 type of layout manager available in Tkinter. One is pack, second grid, third is place. Now let me tell you briefly what are they, how it works, but we are going to use grid here. Okay. Now let me tell you why. Pack is something you are packing something. So if you have put some label or something or this particular entry, and then you put another widget, it will pack one after another. So from first, it will put the entry in top. After that, if you put adding any edge widget like button or something, it will put the second, then third, fourth, something like that it comes. Pack we will work in another project where we'll use the pack, not today. But grid, how it works is, grid you can think is kind of a tabular format, which is a row and column. If you look into this particular calculator in the MacBook, or in Windows also you have a calculator, or in Linux also you have a calculator by default. So if you think it looks like a kind of tabular format, the buttons are like is a table. If you think there's a table, it has a 4 columns, first, second, third, and fourth, and it has a different rows, first, second, third, fourth, and fifth. So it has 4 columns, 5 rows. So it's a kind of tabular. And you can think about the top one also a row, which has we generally mention the column span, right? It's a merging. You merge the 4 columns in one, right? You can think it like this way. So you see, it takes a kind of tabular format. So that's why we're going to use grid. Grid actually use the tabular format. Let me show you how it works. You just write text result, that is your component, and you call this grid function. When you're using the grid function, you need to mention where actually it will placed. So to do that, you need to mention row and column. To understand this row and column concept in grid layout manager, whenever you give the row 0 and column 0, it always starts from top left hand side. That is your row 0, column 0. And then this is a row 1, row 2, row 3, row 4, row 5, and column is column 0, column 1, column 2, column 3. You understand, right? I am going to put this entry box in top, right? So I am putting row 0 and column 0. Let's run it. It's coming up border or something. I don't want that. Okay. So what you can do is you can mention there are 2 attributes called height thickness. I make it 0 and border width also 0, so that it will not show any border anymore. You see, I can enter information here and there is no border. But one thing you notice here, sticking to the top, give some padding. and there is one attribute called pad y. There are two attributes called pad x and pad y. Pad x give you the horizontal padding, left and right, and pad y give you the vertical padding, top and bottom, 2020. Okay, we'll see how it looks like. We can change this later. Text entry box is kind of complete. Okay, it has a good padding. Perfect. Next is we are going to put the buttons. Now if you look into the calculator, so we have a 4 columns and we have a 5 rows. Top rows we have a C, it's a negate function, then modulus, and then division. Let's put this exactly this way. If you are Windows user, you do not need to install anything. But if you are Mac user, then I suggest when you using button in Mac, you install this particular library. I check that is a normal Tkinter by default installation. If you want to change the button colors, it doesn't work in the Mac, but it works in the Windows perfectly fine. So for Mac user, I suggest you install this library pk mac os x. Okay, so to install it, it's very easy. Pip install pk mac os x and hit enter. I already have it, so that's why I say send requirement already satisfied, or if you do not have it, it will install for you. To use the button, we need to import it. Now I am going to create the first row button. So first one is the AC one. I am going to create a variable button underscore AC, and then I am creating my button. Where I want to put the button? I want to put on the root window only, right? So just mention that root. I am writing AC on this button. Okay, AC will be the text what will be written in the button. Then I am giving a background color. This is the background color I am using. It's a this color, I liked it. Let me show you how it looks like. You see, this is the color, the kind of yellow color. So it will look like this color. So I am using that. Foreground color is a gray. I mean the text will be in the button will be gray. Borderless equal to 1. This is specific to again for the Mac users. If you are using Windows, do not need to mention this particular attribute. This is specific for Mac. Width I am giving 70 and height is 55. Putting another attribute active background. How it works is that when you click on the button, let me show you once again. When you click on the button, you see it's becoming a different color. So that is the active color when you clicked on it. So that's why I'm mentioning here active color, active background, that is white, active foreground is gray. X is written in the button, that's still gray. We need to mention the layout. Put that button in the layout. Button AC dot, our layout is grid. Now if you think that where you are putting the button, you are this is a row 0, the text entry, then it will be row 1, right, and column 0. Put that row equal to 1, column equal to 0. Now if you run it, it will show. But one thing I hope you already noticed, that whenever you are creating some widget and putting it, we are doing two things. One is, first we are calling the widget function and creating the widget, and with the different attributes we are making changes in the look and feel of the widget. Like we are putting some color, we are putting some text and all those things. But to put that into our window, we need to using a layout manager. Here is a grid layout manager. So it's a two-step process. First is you are creating the widget by calling the widget class, and then you are putting that into your layout manager. Here we are using the grid layout manager. Hope it's clear. Next button will be this one, right? Negate one. I don't need to type again. I just copy paste this one, right? And change variable name negate. You can put any variable name. And one thing is the row is 1, same row, but column is second row, right? 2, second column. So column 2. Need to change the whatever you want to write in the button. So I am writing this plus minus. Next button is the modulus, right? So I am giving a name like mod, same name, and here column will be 3. Another one also let me create, that is a division. I'm changing the here text also, how it shows. Next button is the division, divide, and here column is 4. Change the, so it's up to you how you want to design it. You can use any color as your choice. Let's run it, but it's not coming, it's not showing this. Why the buttons are not showing here? Because in the top row you see you have only row 0 and column 0, only one column, but here in the row 1 you are putting 4 columns, so that actually this breaking there. So to fix it, you need to mention column span. Basically you are merging in the top row, you are merging the columns. So you can mention column span equal to 5, then it should work. Let's run it. See, it's perfect now. You give the pad wise, so it has some padding here in top and bottom, and you have the different buttons here. Although it's not doing anything, we will make it work. But currently you see that your first row is complete. It has a yellow color, the first three, and the division one is a different color, and it's pretty good now, right? So this is our first row button. Let's put the second row button also, first row button end here. So I am going to now start the second row button. It's pretty easy. So you just copy paste the first row one here like this. Here your first button in second row is what? 7, right? So give a name like 7. We're going to change the color, different color from the second row for these numbers. So we'll put a different color for those. So I'm giving a name like button underscore 7. And what will be your row? We already understood, right? Row will be 2 and column will be 0, left hand side, second row. And here it will be the 7, button 7. And let's give a background color. I already have a color for that. Number row, I am going to use this color. I hope you will like it, or you can change your color. It's up to you. Run it and see how it looks like. So one thing I'm seeing this, we can increase the font here a little bit. I didn't mention any font for these buttons. What you can do is you can mention the font here, and you know how to do that, right? Font equal to, I'm going to use the same font, Vardhana, and I am making the size is 20, let's say. Yeah, ACs looks good. So I can use the same font for others also. Here also, and here too. Second row also. Let's run it. Hope it looks better now. Yep, perfect. It's looking good. So second row I have font 7, 8, 9 and multiplication. So I just copy these buttons from the second row, 7, 8, 9, right? Just copy paste, and last is division. Okay, so 7, I'm putting it 8, button underscore 8. Obviously I need to change the text here to 8. Another thing we need to change, row is same, right? Second row, but column will be 1 here. Like that, I have a button 9. Last one is the multiplication. I need to change the text also to multiplication, and generally I'm putting the different color for this operator. So I'm using DC here. So for division also we use the same color. So just make it parity. I'm using the same color for the multiplication too. Run it again. See, perfect. Okay, so second row is also complete. What I have in the third row? I have in the third row 4, 5, 6 and subtraction. Very good. So I'll just copy this second row thing fully, make a third row of it. And this is third row button. Okay, so button 4, text also change, and row is 3, third. I changed it. Then 4, 5. Next button is button 5, and text also will change to 5, and row also will change. Button 6 also, it will be 6, and row also change to 3. But for third row it will be subtraction. So I'm changing the variable name sub, changing into the text, and changing the row. Third row also complete. You see, looks good, right? Now what I have 1, 2, 3. 4, 5 is 1, 2, 3. Okay, so let me copy that also. 1, 2 for 1, 2, 3. So this is my fourth row. Changing the comment. Okay, fourth row is 1, 2, 3, right? And addition plus. Very good. So easy. Button 1, this is the button 2, this is the button 3. I'm changing the variable name first together, and last is the addition, ADD. Now I'm changing the text terms. The first one is the 1, second is the 2, third is the 3. Text here is the addition, that is plus operator. And obviously row will change. So row 4, button 3 also row 4. That's it. You run it. It's coming up, right? The last row only remaining, the fifth row. Then we are good. Let me copy this. One thing you will notice for the fifth row, if you open our default calculator in operating system, the fourth row, 0 has taking the 2 columns here. That means we can, for the 0, we need to use the column span 2. and this the point is 1, that is normal. After that, first 2 columns will take 1 column only, that is a column span 2. So 0 point and equal to. Very good. First will be the 0, button 0, right? And we said there will be no button, second button here, because only 3 buttons, and here the column span will be 2. Column span equal to 2, row width. Point, you can give any variable name, is up to you. I am just giving some name here, and this is equal and equal. Last one, this is row 5, column 3. Okay, yeah, I need to change it to equal to, and here I need to change to dot, and here 1 I need to change to 0. I think we are good. Actually, this is perfect. Basically, I need to change the width here. We need to increase the width. So it is 70. Let me make it double of it. It should look good. Yeah, you see, good. But still there is an extra space in the height, so I can increase the height of these last row buttons. So our height is always 55 the button. I am making it 65 for the last row. Just covered that, and it should look perfect after that. Yeah, perfect. See, our calculator is now looks great, but although it's not doing anything at this point of time, but we'll make it work right now. But it looks perfect from the UI perspective, isn't it? Our calculator is looking great, but now we are going to put some operation on it. This is the most interesting part. I am going to create some methods. First method I am going to create def add to calculation. This is a method. You can give any name. I am going to pass symbol. Let's print it for the time being. What we are trying to do is, whenever you click on the button, I am going to call this particular method, and I'm going to pass symbol, and I'm going to print it. This is a simple thing. I'm not doing any calculation at this point of time. I'm just printing it, and just to make sure that it's getting the information. So how it works is, you have a method, but if you want to call that method from the button, there is an attribute called command. I am writing on top of button 7. How you will do it? You will write this command attribute, command command equal, then you will call that particular method, add to calculation, call it like this. But if you notice that I need to pass, right, some symbol here, so it is taking some parameter. So to pass it, yeah, we covered in other videos, if you remember, lambda function. We are going to use the anonymous function, that is lambda. Okay, how it works is lambda colon and add to calculation. Now you can pass any parameter on this. And I'm going to pass 7 here, right? Now run it. So what I'm doing, I hope it's clear to you, in the button 7, calling the function, as this function actually asking for some parameter or argument. So that's why I'm using the lambda function here as an anonymous function, so that I call a different function with the argument. Run this. Now press 7. You see it's printing, 7 printing here in the terminal. See, all the 7 is getting printed. So great, it's working fine, perfect. But what do we want? We want the 7 will print here in my text, right? Text area. Let's do that. Very interesting. I am going to create a variable, global variable. I'm creating calculation. Okay. Empty string. This is my global variable calculation. So when this add to calculation I am going to call, I am going to access this global variable calculation, the global keyword. Then I am going to add this symbol. If I click on 7, it should show here, right? For this entry one, I want to show it, right? And this entry variable is text result. So if I want to call it, I can call it with this particular variable, this object. In the entry, there are 3 operations you can perform in the entry. One is a get, that is a get the information in the entry. Another is a delete, whatever is currently there, you can to delete that. And another is the insert, you want to insert something there. So first, what we are going to, we want to make sure that when you are putting something, we should clear the previous one. So we are going to call the delete function here. It takes 2 parameters, that is start is always 0, and second parameter is the end. I'm going to delete everything whatever present there. Cool. Then I'm going to insert it. So insert also takes 2 parameters, that is your start parameter, that is 0, and end parameter is your calculation. I'm going to put the calculation here, right? Now run it. Click on 7. See, 7 is showing. Now if I click on 7 again, another 7 should come, but that is not coming. So this is not working as we want, right? So to make it work, you know what is happening when you are first clicking it, it's having the symbol, storing into this calculation variable. The next time when you are doing it, again it's replacing the same symbol. So it's not adding it. So to do that, what I need to do is whatever storing it previously in calculation, I need to add top of it. So to add that, I just make it string and add it. So now if you run it, it should work. See? Perfect, it's working great, right? That's what we wanted. So now we understand how we can get the numbers added into this particular text entry box with the help of this add to calculation. This particular method is perfectly fine. So what I can do is I can now use the exactly same command attribute for all these numbers button. Then it should work, right? As it's working for 7. That way I'm going to do it. That is easy. We're going to copy it. I want this, when you click on AC, it will clear this one. That is very simple. Let's add the method for that. So I'm going to add a method called clear field. Okay. When I click on it, I want to make sure that text result will be deleted, whatever it's there. That's what I want, right? We need to make the calculation also empty. Just access the calculation variable with the global parameter and then make it empty. You call this particular function from the AC, right? Let's call it clear field. And you see I am not passing any parameter here. So I do not need to use the lambda anymore here because I'm not passing any parameter. What I can do is use command equal to, I just call the function clear field. That's it. It should work. 7 AC. 7 AC is clearing the field, right? Perfect. Now it's time to add that whatever you have in the 7 here for all the numbers fields, right? And also the operators one, like division, addition, plus, everywhere we can do that. So that is easy. I'm adding in the division, just pass the division here, and same thing I'm going to do that for other buttons like 8. Also I will pass the 8. For 9 I will pass the 9, and the same thing I'm going to do for the all other buttons. So I just, to save the time, I am pausing this video and completing it because I'm performing the same task. So I'm pausing the video now, recording, and I'm completing it, and I'll come back. Okay, I have added this add to calculation, this particular method for all the buttons which are the symbols as well as which are numbers. I added for them. See, I added for all the numbers as well as all the symbols like addition, subtraction, multiplication, all I added. Now let's run it and it should work. 7, 8, 9, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 0 is working, and also AC is working, 4, 5 point also working. Perfect. Plus also working, but it is not doing anything till now. It's just, it's coming, the information here, it's not doing anything. That's what we are going to write now. For that, I am going to use the eval. If you remember this eval concept, if not, let me explain it. Eval function work in Python. What it does, any equation you give to the eval, and that actually give the result. It basically give the result from that equation. Let me show an example. Okay, I am using my terminal to show that. I am going into the Python mode. Let's say you have a equation, storing that equation into the x variable. Always remember, eval works only with the string form of the equation. Let's say if you put x equal to 2 plus 3 plus 5, if you pass this, it will not work. It will work only if you pass as a string. So I will put a quotation here, and then I put my equation 2 plus 3 plus 5. So we know it, if we make it addition, 5 plus 3 8, and it will be 10. If I pass this x now in the eval, it will actually give me the result. Let me show you this. See, I got the 10. Let me show you another example. Let me put another y here in variable, 12 into 4, right? But if you see that I didn't put into the string, now if I pass this y into eval, you will see it will giving error. That's point I'm trying to prove here. For eval to work, your equation need to be as in a string, like that eval work, and it will give you the result. So same equation y equal to, if I put in a string 12 into 4, and then I pass this y equation string in eval, it will give me the answer 48. Now you got the point, right, how it's working, and I hope you got the point what I'm trying to do also now. But let me explain it to you. Okay, if you understand how the eval thing works, you know that how we're going to use it. Now let's print this calculation here, just for your understanding. I'm printing the calculation. Now let's say as 4 plus 5. So you see this calculation is storing an equation here in a string, right? And I'm printing it. That means if I can pass this calculation, this equation into the eval function, it will give me the result 75 into 5, and that I need to show it here. Hope you understand the concept. In this add to calculation, I am preparing the equation here, 75 into 5 plus 5 plus 7, whatever it is. I'm preparing that equation as a string, and then if I can pass that into the eval function, it will give me the result, right? And then I need to show that into this entry box. When I'll call the eval function, I'll call the eval function when I click on equal to. That time I want to perform it, right? Let's say if I have a 45 plus 23 plus 56, now I want to add it when I click on equal, this particular button, right? So that time I want to pass this particular equation into the eval function, it will give me the result. I want to show it here. Hope you understood. Now then write it. It's easy, right? Let me write another method, eval calculation. That means evaluate the calculation. Okay, everything is storing into my global calculation, right? I can access this global calculation variable. I can pass this global calculation variable into eval function. Eval is an inbuilt one again anyway. If I pass the calculation here, it will give me the result. I'm storing that into a result variable. That's it. In the text result, I will delete what it is there currently with 0, and you know how to delete it. And then I can insert it, right? What I am going to insert? I am going to insert the result I have, right? That's it. I think it's work. Now I need to just call this particular eval calculation in the equal to. Where is my equal to button? The last button is the equal to, right? So here I can call that particular function. As I am not passing anything, I don't not to use the lambda, right? I just call the function eval for calculation. It should work. Looks okay to me. Let's run it. So 7 plus 3 plus 2. Perfect. It's coming 12. Okay. Now I'll add some, 5 plus 6, 68. If I click on 7 plus 3 equal to 10 is coming, right? Now when I click on plus and 3, I want to know 10 is stayed here instead of it showing 7 plus 3. See, it's worked, but it's not looks good to me. So what I want, when I click on plus, the 13 will stay there, and I will add something on top of that. That I can easily fix it. After the eval, I want to store that result. Actually, I'm getting from after evaluating the calculation, whatever results I'm getting, I want to store into the calculation variable, because when you again click on the plus, the calculation variable is being referred, right? That is a global variable. Equal calculation equal to string result. Okay. Now I think it should work. What I'm doing is I am just converting this result to string and storing into the calculation. So when you click on the plus after this, or into or minus or whatever, that time again the calculation will be referred here. Let's see how it's working. 7 plus 5 equals to 12 plus 3. Perfect. It's working exactly what? 15 plus 6. Good. Into 6. Perfect. It's working. Now there is another problem, I think. Let's say 1 4. I want to divide it with the 3. You see, there are a lot of point is coming, but I don't want so many point to come here. So what I can do is, I'm evaluating this, I can round it. Okay, there is a function called round, right? I can round it to only 2 space. Okay, then if I run it now, if there will be point, it will be rounded to 2. So for example, 17, okay, divided by 6, see, is rounded to 2.83. looks great. That's why I wanted. One thing is still remaining. This is not working, this particular one. How it works is it calls a negate. Okay, so for example, you have a 8. Okay, if you click on it, it will be -8. Now it is -6 you have. If you negate it, it will be +6. So whatever the sign you have, it will be just opposite another sign. If it is a plus, then it will become minus. If it is a minus, it will become plus. That's how the negate ones work. We need to write a separate function because eval cannot do that. Negate. Okay, negate num. This is a function. Okay, I access the global calculation, and here what I can do is I can make this calculation first integer. Just think about it. If you have a plus, if you want to make it minus, what you will do? You will multiply with -1. So for example, you have a -5. Okay, if you multiply to it -1, then what will happen? It will be +5. If you have a +5, it will have multiplied -1. Okay, so -5. That's what you want, right? That's why I'm going to do it, and I am make it everything in the string, right? And don't need to make a different variable. I have to work on the calculation only, and then I am going to show it in the text result. That is normal text result dot delete. I am going to delete it, start, end, and I am going to insert it, right? I need to add this function into that negate button, right? Otherwise how it will work? So add it here, command equal to negate num, just calling that method. Now let's see if it's working. So 8, click on 8, -8, again +8, 9, -8, 9, +8, 9. Perfect, it's working great. So I think our calculator is now developed and it's working great. It's 7 + 8 equal to 15 into 3, 45 divided by 6 is rounded to 7.5. Perfect, it's working exactly how you wanted. So great, congratulations. You developed your first GUI based Python application and a simple calculator application, but I hope you understand the concept, but how we can step by step develop a GUI application in Python. And now you have exactly same calculator you developed what you got from your operating system. For example, I have Mac operating system. I got the exactly same calculator, same functionality, it's working, right? So congratulations. So hope you liked today's video. If you like it, then please share with others. In the next video, we are going to create another GUI project. This series will continue. We will have another 4 or 5 GUI project in this series, and we are going to learn the GUI in Python with these different projects only, so that it will be fun for you. And I will try to make sure that with the different projects, I cover all the GUI widgets which is available in Tkinter, main GUI widgets. So we are going to cover those. So stay tuned. If you are not member in this channel yet, then please hit the subscribe button and subscribe to this channel, and it's free, right? And I upload new videos every week, so you will get the notification and you will not miss any this kind of interesting project. If you like this, again hit the like button and share with others. See you to the next video. Till then, happy learning, happy coding. Bye.